I actually can't believe the game that's just happened right there. I mean, how have Man United, who 2 weeks ago sacked their manager, were in utter crisis, just gone and beat Arsenal at the Emirates? Like, they played brilliantly today. Like, if you're a United fan, you should be very proud of your team because they played brilliant football. They never really gave up. One or two players were a bit off, but apart from that, I mean, what a performance from Manchester United and Arsenal. How the fuck are they bottling this league? Like, this is getting embarrassing. This is just getting embarrassing. Whoever wins the title this year will be the worst winner in years. Because if Man City win it, they've been terribly inconsistent. And if Arsenal win it, then you can point to periods and you think, okay, what the fuck are you doing here? You lost to United at home. But they lacked a cutting edge tonight, and they just lacked something when it was 2-1. And when they got the goal from Moreno, which was quite scrappy, I was thinking to myself, okay, they have 5 minutes, they'll go get the winner, and they'll be like, okay, didn't play well, got 3 points, we move on. But then Cunha coming down into the box and just shoots an absolute brilliant. And there's had no midfield. I thought we were watching Liverpool for a second. Absolute no midfield closed them down, and he scores a brilliant goal. Brilliant one. They lacked skill. They did lack skill. They lacked fucking everything. I mean, how are they bottling this league? I don't understand how the fuck are they bottling this league. It was an open goal for them. City are inconsistent. We're shit. It should be an absolute smash and grab. Smash and grab. And they've bottled it. If Man City now got their act together and started to win a few games, the title's theirs. And if Man City win this league, then it'll be an absolute disappointment because they've played so inconsistently. They play terrible match duration. Right, it's so insane. Yeah, you're definitely an Arsenal fan, sure. Um, where does Arsenal go from here? Where do they go? Because they've played absolute shit against United today. They played poor against Forest last week. They just cannot get points when Man City are struggling. They have to, if you're going to win titles, you have to beat what's in front of you. You have to beat your Uniteds at home. You have to beat Forest away. And they're just not doing it. They're not like anytime they've had a chance where I think, oh, surely they win this one. Like they should have beaten us at Emirates. And we were the better team, which is just absolutely crazy. Now Arsenal used to have a dip in like February, March, they just crumble. That was under Wenger. Now it's around December into January. They just crumble. Absolute crumble. Arsenal, if they don't win the league this year, even if they win the cups, Arteta should be sacked because he's had 5 years. 5 years. Slot came in first year, won it. Arteta has been just 5 years and he's not won a thing. So I don't know where Arsenal can go from here. They're in an absolute crisis and they've been exposed tonight because anytime they're on open play, they don't look as threatening opposed to corners. And I find it really ironic because the Arsenal fans hated Stoke City because they were anti-football. They were just one long ball. And now that's all Arsenal are. Long throws, corners, set pieces, build up play. That's what they've come. They're the new Stoke City. We were and now we are embarrassing. Yeah, Arsenal are embarrassing, but we're sixth in the league, so I can't really say much. But if I was a United fan, I wouldn't be worried at the end of the game because they weren't going to score from build-up play, and corners they shouldn't be scoring because they have tall players. So, like, absolute shocking from Arsenal today. I really thought that they'd get this smash and grab and they'd win. No, I mean Liverpool. Oh, yeah, we're just a fucking embarrassment. Um, and like losing to Bournemouth yesterday, like our defenders, all they do is said defend, they just whine to the referee, and it's really, really frustrating. Um, Sam, please give me a shout out. I'm not, no, I'm not giving you a shout out. Um, so where are we gonna go from here is a great question. Like, I think Slot has to go. He has to go because he's taken us far enough, and he's too stubborn. He's playing Gakpo still. And he's just might as well play with 10 men because he's shit. He is absolute shit. And Fabrizio Romano has just confirmed we've not made full contact with Slot. We've made initial contact, which is the start of attracting players and managers. Um, but would Alonso want to come over? I don't know. He said he's waiting until summer, so we don't have the fear of somebody poaching him in the middle of April or something like that. But Arsenal, back to Arsenal, like who would they get instead of Arteta? Because Arteta, to his credit, has built this team, but I don't think he can. Can he take him across the finish line? I don't think he can. Hello, Astrials. I've noticed you now. I hope you're happy now. I mean, this has been an absolute smash and grab season for Arsenal. You know, they got the striker, which was their missing puzzle piece, but Victor Gyökeres is just shit. And I feel like it's unfair when people like Isak are getting all the shit and Gyökeres isn't getting a slice of it. I think that's unfair because Gyökeres, I think, has actually been worse than Isak, and Isak's injured right now. You know, because if you compare, like, we didn't desperately need Isak. Arsenal desperately needed Gyökeres, and it's almost like they didn't sign him. You know, so he's been a very disappointing signing, and I think if I was an Arsenal fan, I wouldn't be happy with where he is. But I'd give him time because I wouldn't call him a flop. He's just been underwhelming so far because I believe that players shouldn't be called flops unless they've got a full year under their belt, especially if it's players that come from abroad, like Verts, like Gyökeres. Other signings who haven't been that good, like Eze, he's not that. The last goal he scored was the hat trick against Spurs, which was great and all, but just absolute poor. Um, I just think it's funny to watch Arsenal crumble again and seeing all their fans with their big mouths. I actually Arsenal are my favorite club out of the big six. Like they're the ones I have the least hostility towards, or at least rivalry with. But their fans are so gobby and delusional. I like when Arsenal get that reality check every now and again. But I would much prefer them win the league over Man City again because I'm just sick of Man City and their fakeness, their plasticness, and their just cheating. Because I just find it funny. Everton and Forest had those minor charges, got punished straight away. It's been 3 years since Man City have gone 115 financial fair play charges, and then just nothing. No, nothing. So I'd like points deductions and titles to be stripped, please, and thank you, because they're just cheaters and they need to be punished for it. But Arsenal, I want them to win the title if it's not us. In a dreamland Villa, but that's just not going to be realistic because they don't have the legs for the title. Unfortunately, they're just not experienced enough. But Arsenal, they have to win the league, but they're just balling on themselves. I said a month ago, this is Arsenal's league to win, but it is also theirs to lose, and they are losing it, and it is very funny. However, um, it is it's just as poor. Shout out to Astrials because it won't leave me alone. What will I offer for a rainbow burrito? Okay, I don't know what the fuck that is. But maybe give one to Arteta. Maybe it might actually win the title. But if they bottle this one again, like that'd be just so fucking embarrassing. Because at least with the first time they did it, City were unbelievable. They won a treble that year, and you couldn't really blame them. They just didn't have the experience, they didn't have the legs, they were still young players. But now they're experienced, they know what it's like to be in the titles, and City are so inconsistent. They lost the fucking Bodo Glimt away, for God's sake. This is not the same Manchester City that will just batter teams for fun. This is a Man City team with holes to poke it. But what they've done is they've gone out in January, they've poached Semenyo, they've poached Guehi, and now like their defense was weak and they've brought in one of the best centre backs in England. So City are currently getting stronger in the long run, but in the short term, Arsenal are looking weaker. So I don't know what was missing from them today in the attack. Like their passing was sloppy, just absolute sloppy. And I think they started the game quite well. Obviously the goal from there was a Martinez own goal. I don't know what the fuck their defense was doing for that one. They're doing, as Mark Goldberg said, strictly come dancing. He's absolutely spot on, trying to do the tango with Timber. And then Bruno had two chances, and Bruno's just absolutely fucking shit. Um, Ashes, I gave you the shout out. I gave you the shout out. I don't know what the fuck you're on about, but I gave you the shout out. Shout out to Astros again. You have more followers than I do, so I don't know why you want me to give you the shout out. Um, where was I? Lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. So then Bruno had his two chances. Whereas Bruno is just, I think United can do better than Bruno. And United fans are just settling with him and saying, oh, he's great, he's this, he's that. I don't think he is. I think they can do better, and I think they should look for improvement because Bruno is not a good leader. When the going gets tough, he throws a strop, throws their arms on the ground. How are you meant to lead that? If you look at the players who captained before him, like look at did Roy Keane do that? No, Roy Keane's one of the best captains in in Premier League history. Roy Keane is somebody you'd look up to, someone who young players should lead by example. Bruno's not that player. You know, he's a better captain than Maguire was. But still, I think they need to. Um, I think they need to get somebody else. Um, what was I saying? Then the second goal, Dorgu, fucking what a screamer! That's definitely contender for goal in the season. But I guarantee there'll be a goal in April that would be look slightly better that will get it because of recency bias. But that should be goal of the goal of the season for sure. Um, yeah. Um, Then they had the equalizer, which was purely scrappy. I don't think United should be conceding corners to Arsenal because they have big aerial threats. Um, they have like Sesko's about 6'4". Hello Jacob, thanks for joining the stream today. And it was just a very scrappy goal, and felt sorry for him. But then when Cunha was through on goal and he lined up the shot, I was like, oh my god, the fucking Egypts. Where's their midfield? Where's Rice? Where's Zubamendi? Oh yeah, forgot to mention the equaliser for United, Zubamendi, fucking Egypt. I don't see Gravenberch doing that. Don't see McAllister doing that. Don't even see Trey Nyoni doing that. Yeah, you want a better coach, do you? Fuck off. But the third goal, yeah, the third goal, Cunha, it was a brilliant goal. No keeper saving that, but it's just poor position from Arsenal's midfield. That Cunha should not have that much space. No footballer should have that much space. If they're line up for a shot. So just poor decision making from Arsenal. Their passing was sloppy. Going forward, they weren't as threatening as they were or should have been. But look, they're in a crisis at the moment, you know, and City are going to be looking at this, licking their lips, thinking, okay, that we could actually have him here now, because Arsenal should be sailing away with this title, already planning the bus parades, and they got too cocky, they're too arrogant, and now they're costing it on themselves. You know, if that was Liverpool down there that I just seen, I would have been absolutely furious. I lost my shit. I timed out Ashes. I did, yeah, because she wouldn't just. I gave her a shout out and she kept asking. So just a little warning, little timeout. But Jesus, yeah, we were so poor against Bournemouth. But Arsenal were very poor against Man United. They were just so lackluster. And if you're going to be champions, you have to beat Man United at home. Like when the first year they were going for the title and Keshi in the last minute, that's what champions have to do. Right? That's what they have to do. And I think a draw wouldn't have been that bad a result because we drew to United last year and we still went on to win the league. Now we were in a better position and our opponents for the title were in a worse position, but we still didn't beat them, you know? And even if you lose, you have to perform well. You know, if Arsenal put in 110%, didn't put a foot wrong, but still lost, I'd just say, okay, fair on, just wasn't their day, you know, and they're lost to the better team. But that performance was worrying. You know, that's not the performance of champions. That's the performance of a team who's going to be like fourth or fifth. And Arsenal won't scoop to that level, of course. They're definitely going to be getting first or second. That's just guaranteed. But Man City could catch up to them now because Man City won yesterday. And Arsenal have dropped now, what was it? 4 points, I think it was. No, 5 points. Dropped 5 points out of a possible six. So just poor today. Um, I gotta feel bad for Arsenal fans because, like, when when will it be their year? Like it's been over 20 years now. But I think hopefully they'll win the league. I would want them to win the league, but they're costing themselves the title, and it's just embarrassing to watch. Um, but Man United, we've been talking about Arsenal, so Man United. Wow, after two games under Michael Carrick, and they already winning against Man City and Arsenal, top two, top two teams at the top of the table, and they beat them comfortably. You know, I think they performed better against City, but they got the job done against against Arsenal, and they kept fighting. You know, when they conceded the equaliser, Man United last year, or Man United from 2 weeks ago, would have had their tail between their legs and was sat back and probably would have conceded a third. But they said, no, fuck this. We're going to go for it. And what I liked what Carrick did was, at 2-1, other managers would have taken off Dorgu for someone defensive. But he put on Sesko. And I like that. Because when they went 2-2, instead of having like one decent person up front, which is what happens in those situations, he had different attacking threats. So they were able to counter United, counter Arsenal, and they were able to score. And it worked in his favour. So I don't know if they should give him the job permanently. Because it is still two games, but it is Arsenal and City, in fairness. So United fans, let me know, should Carrick be given the job? Because personally, I'm on the ropes about it. Because look, Ollie obviously got after the PSG win, but that looks like a preseason friendly compared to what Carrick's doing at the moment. But I just feel like this time in like next year or the season after, I just feel like there's a 1-0 home loss to West Ham that Man United are going to commit, and it's just they're just going to throw their toys out the pram for Carrick. But what I think is absolute guarantee is that Amram was the problem. I think Amram made stupid mistakes. I think that playing Bruno 8 cost him his job. I think just the board didn't back him. But if you're going to bring in a manager that's going to change your entire tactics and your formation to something you've never done before, you have to wait till the summer and you have to give him a preseason, a proper budget, and say, okay, what players do you want? And he goes, I want him, I want him, I want him. He plays for Napoli, he plays for fucking whoever. They're gettable. We're Man United. You know, they can still use that we're Man United because when the players were growing up, it's probably when United were winning. So it was stupid mistake from Man United, and I think it was dumb for Amran because he was actually a well liked coach turned into just a meme. So yeah, that's the end of the stream here today. Man United is on a great run at the moment. Maybe United Strand can cut his hair. I honestly hope he does at this point because gee, it's been over a year and a half, and it was just really funny. Arsenal in a crisis because they're bottling their own league, and it's quite funny, but it is quite sad. So thanks everyone for watching today. Have a good night, and I'll see you later.